Did you know that the first 7 seconds of meeting someone can determine the entire trajectory of your relationship? Here's the crazy part. Most of us are completely winging it during those crucial moments. Today, we're breaking down Captivate by Vanessa Van Edwards, a book that literally reverse engineers human connection using science. If you've ever felt awkward in networking events, struggled to make friends as an adult, or just want to become ridiculously good with people, buckle up, this one's a game changer. Captivate isn't your typical self-help fluff. Vanessa Van Edwards spent over a decade running a human behavior research lab, analyzing thousands of interactions to crack the code on what makes some people magnetically likable while others fade into the background. This book gives you the playbook for social success, backed by actual science, not just feel-good advice. Idea number 1. The social game plan. Location is everything. Not all spots in a room are created equal. Where you stand dictates your success. Most people walk into a room and make a beeline for the food or the bar, but Van Edwards' research shows that this is a rookie mistake. Why? Because when people are at the buffet, they're focused on eating. It is socially awkward to shake hands while holding a chicken wing. When people are at the entrance, they are overwhelmed and scanning the room. They aren't ready to talk yet. Think of a networking event like a baseball field. You don't want to be in the dugout, you want to be on the pitcher's mound. You need to avoid the trap zones. The trap zones are the entrance, the decompression zone, the food table, the consumption zone, and the bathroom line. Imagine you're at a friend's housewarming party. If you stand right by the door, you're just a greeter. You're getting brief "Hi, how are you" interactions. But if you move to the sweet spot, which is usually near the bar exit or where people drift after they've grabbed a drink, that's where the magic happens. People have their drink, they're relaxed, and they're looking for someone to talk to. Practical action. Next time you enter a room, skip the entrance in the buffet line. Plant yourself at the corner of the bar or the end of the food table. Catch people after they've been served. That is where high-quality conversations are born. Idea number 2. The power of hands. Trust indicators. If you want people to trust you instantly, keep your hands visible. This sounds crazy, right? But it's evolutionary biology. Back in the caveman days, if a stranger approached you, your brain immediately checked their hands. Why? To see if they were holding a rock or a spear. If you couldn't see their hands, your fight or flight response kicked in. In the modern world, we don't worry about spears, but our primitive brain still searches for hands as a friend signal. Van Edwards analyzed thousands of hours of TED Talks. The least popular speakers used an average of 272 hand gestures. The most popular, viral speakers, they used over 460 gestures. That is nearly double. Think about a politician or a CEO giving a speech. If their hands are behind their back, in their pockets, or under the table, you subconsciously feel like they are hiding something. It feels slick or dishonest. But someone like Steve Jobs or Brené Brown, they use their hands to paint a picture. Practical action. Stop sitting on your hands. When you're in a meeting, keep your hands on the table. When you walk into a room, take your hands out of your pockets. And when you talk, use gestures to emphasize your points. It's the easiest way to hack trust. Idea number 3. Kill the small talk, the dopamine spike. How are you is the killer of good conversations. We're all on autopilot. When someone asks, "How are you?" your brain doesn't even engage. You just say, "Good, you?" It's a social script and it is boring. To be memorable, you need to break the script. The goal of a conversation is to produce dopamine, the pleasure chemical in the brain. You want to be a high dopamine person. When you ask a boring question, you get a flatline response. But when you ask a spark question, you wake the other person's brain up. You force them to think, recall a memory, or share an opinion. Let's say you're at a coffee shop or a business mixer. Boring. So, what do? Spark. Working on anything exciting lately? See the difference? The first one asks for a job title. The second one asks for passion. Boring. Where are you from? Spark. What's the best thing about your hometown? Practical action. Replace your top 3 boring questions with spark questions. Instead of "How was your weekend?" ask "What was the highlight of your weekend?" It forces a positive, specific answer and instantly makes you more interesting to talk to. Idea number 4. The micro-expression decoder. The face reveals the truth before the mouth speaks. Humans have 7 universal micro-expressions: anger, contempt, happiness, fear, surprise, disgust, and sadness. These happen in a fraction of a second, usually about 1/25th of a second before we can mask them. If you can spot these, you become a human lie detector. The most dangerous one to look out for is contempt. This is a one-sided mouth raise, like a half smirk. It means the person feels superior to you or dismissive of what you're saying. If you see this during a date or a negotiation, you are in trouble. Imagine you are pitching a price to a client. You say, "Our fee is $10,000. Watch their face. If their eyebrows pull up and together, that's fear or worry. You need to reassure them about the value. If their nose crinkles up like they smelled bad milk, that's disgust. They hate the price. If they show a true smile, crow's feet around the eyes, you're golden." Practical action. Start people watching. Turn the sound off on the TV and watch a reality show or a news interview. Try to spot the 7 emotions. In real life, look for the contempt smirk. If you see it, stop talking and ask a question to re-engage them because you are losing them. Idea number 5. The theory of the nut job, personality matrix. You can speed read anyone's personality using the ocean model. You can't treat everyone the same. The golden rule says, treat others how you want to be treated. But Van Edwards argues for the platinum rule, treat others how they want to be treated. To do that, you need to know their personality type. Psychology breaks personality down into the big 5 traits. Ocean. Openness. How adventurous are they? Conscientiousness. How organized are they? Extroversion. Do they get energy from people? Agreeableness. How cooperative are they? Neuroticism. How much do they worry? Real-world example. Let's focus on openness. You're planning dinner with a friend. If they are high openness, they want to try that new, weird fusion sushi burrito place. They want novelty. If they are low openness, they want to go to the same pizza place you guys always go to. They want routine. If you try to force a low openness person to be adventurous, they'll be stressed. If you bore a high openness person with routine, they'll check out. Practical action. Pick one person in your life, your boss or your partner. Try to rate them on openness and conscientiousness. Are they messy and creative? High openness, low conscientiousness? Or are they structured and traditional? Low openness, high conscientiousness. Adjust your communication to match their style, not yours. Idea number 6. How to be a master storyteller. Stories are the bridge between brains. When you tell a fact, the listener's brain processes it as language. But when you tell a story, the listener's brain lights up as if they are actually experiencing the event. This is called neural coupling. But here is the trap. Most people tell stories that are too long or have no point. A good story needs a hook, a struggle, and a resolution. Van Edwards suggests having 3 go-to stories ready in your back pocket so you never freeze up. Real-world example. Don't just say, "I'm a barista." That's a fact. Tell a story. "I'm a barista and honestly, it's wild. Just yesterday, a guy tried to order a cappuccino with no foam, which is basically just a latte, and we argued for 5 minutes about physics. It was hilarious." That little anecdote makes you human. It gives people a hook to ask questions about. Practical action. Audit your life. Identify 3 interesting things that have happened to you: a travel mishap, a childhood memory, or a work disaster that turned out funny. Refine them into 60-second stories. Use these to answer the dreaded "tell me about yourself" question. Idea number 7. Vulnerability is sexy. The Franklin effect. Being perfect is boring. Being vulnerable is attractive. We often try to impress people by acting like we have it all together, but people connect with struggle, not perfection. This is known as the pratfall effect. People like you more when you make a small mistake or admit a flaw. Benjamin Franklin famously won over a rival legislator not by debating him, but by asking to borrow a rare book. By asking for a favor, Franklin showed he needed help. It made the rival feel important and valued. This is the Franklin effect. When you let someone help you or you admit you don't know something, you build a bond. Real-world example. If you are at a party and you feel awkward, don't hide it. Turn to the person next to you and say, "Honestly, I don't know a soul here and I'm terrible at these things. Have you been to one of these before?" Suddenly, you aren't the cool, distant stranger. You're a real person. The other person will likely say, "Oh my God, me too." And boom, instant connection. Practical action. Stop trying to be the smartest person in the room. Ask for advice. Say, "I don't know." Admit when you're nervous. It lowers the defenses of everyone around you. Okay, that was a lot of science. Let's lock this in. Here is your rapid-fire summary of Captivate. Number 1, play the zones. Don't stand by the door or the bathroom. Plant yourself at the exit of the bar for the best conversations. Number 2, visible hands. Keep your hands out of your pockets to signal trust and safety. Use gestures. Number 3, spark questions. Ditch "how are you" and ask specific, high-dopamine questions like, "What's your passion project right now?" Number 4, watch the face. Watch for micro-expressions. A one-sided smirk is contempt. Change the subject immediately. Number 5, the platinum rule. Treat people how they want to be treated. Figure out if they love novelty, high openness, or routine, low openness. Number 6, be a storyteller. Have 3 go-to anecdotes ready to avoid awkward silences. Number 7, embrace the flaw. Don't be afraid to ask for advice or admit you're nervous. Vulnerability builds connection faster than perfection. Here's the bottom line. You don't have to change who you are to be good with people. You don't have to become a fake extrovert. You just need to understand the rules of the game. Take just one of these tips, maybe the spark questions or the hand gestures, and try it out tomorrow. See how the reaction changes. You might just surprise yourself. If you enjoyed this summary and want to level up your life without reading 300 pages, hit that subscribe button and smash the like. We're building the ultimate library of life hacks right here. And hey, drop a comment below. What is your go-to question to start a conversation? Let's help each other out in the comments. Thanks for watching and go captivate the room. See you in the next one.